This is the installation of the skirketing, or skirting as I call it. The first thing you do is to fit the top piece here tight against the main frame here, and that'll require a little sanding and adjusting, and I've pre-adjusted it. So it's taken a good 10 minutes to get that down. And the second thing we need to do is to dry fit it very tight, and you need lots of clamps, the same number of clamps that you're going to use when you glue it together, because when you cut this piece you're going to have to make sure that it's cut absolutely accurate, and then you mark it, and you're marking it here, and there I can't show you, turn it back on. You're marking it at the top here, and I've put a mark on the bottom, and you're going to put a mark on both sides so that you can draw the line, and you should be able to see that line now. It's transferred on to the skirting, and now we can take it. And we use my trusty chop saw, and now we're going to take a half round file and start to slowly get this to fit in the same line that is there that is scored on the inner piece here. And then you're going to fit it until you get the shape exactly the same, ignoring the top for a minute. And now you'll see it's almost there. We just have to take about off of it, very, very slight. And you can do that here if you feel, or you can take it off. It's much easier. This is a flat line up at the top. The choice is yours, whichever you prefer to do. I've chosen to take it off the top, and now we're going to fit it back, and I am 99.9% sure that it's going to be perfect fit. Makes sense to dry fit it and to take your time, make sure you get it right, and there we have it. It's absolutely perfect. If you can see it in the light there, perfect fit. Well, we've made up the two pieces of skirting, and we've done what, strangely enough, they haven't suggested. We've painted them. This is the second coat. I'm going to put a third coat on. We had to sand it quite a bit to get it to fit just below the port windows, and I guess I followed the wrong hole here on this front window, which is one that's going to have a door on it, because it's about 2 millimeters too low. So rather than fix that and end up with a join here, which is going to look awful, I'm actually going to trim the inside of this skirting, because it's going to be covered and you're not really going to see it. So a mistake, but a mistake which I think I will get away with. And why I think it's important that you paint it, it's almost impossible to get a nice clean line like that if you paint it after you've glued it. So I don't know why they did it the way they did it, but my golden rule, if you want to make your final painted lines look great, you need to paint them before you stick them. When you make an error on a boat, the first thing you need to do is let 24 hours pass, because you don't want to make a rash judgment. And the second thing you need to do is to look at the ramifications of that error. Perhaps the biggest issue is, in the case of the forward gun ports, is that they're so low that when I put the cannons on them, they're going to touch. And you can take a look and see that the cannon is actually pointing down. So it has to be brought up 2 or 3 millimeters. So I've decided that I'm going to add a filler strip on the outside. The inside isn't important because it's painted red. The outside is where the issue is. I'm going to add the filler strip and do my best to finish it off. And then it'll get these guys with all the ropes and various anchors that are going to be in front there. It shouldn't be too bad. You can just look at the front gun port and realize how close it is to the floor. And then you look at the back. The back ones are 6.9 millimeters. The front is 3.9 millimeters, so a full 3 millimeters short. This is the repair when it was first done, and then as we sanded it down, first sanding. So by the time we cover it in the polyurethane, it'll be acceptable. And you can see from the cannon that this is clearly the correct height of the gun port from the deck. Having checked the measurements of the pre-painted strips and dry fitted many times, we've now stuck the pre-painted strip with PVA glue. The clean transition line between the red and the deck is clear and obvious. The inner bulk walk shear rail is made up of the 10 millimeter strip. Well, here we are. It's all installed and the pre-painted strips are in. We will paint the inside portion here next, and we will cut out a little extra where the top skirting overlaps the forward gun port. If there's a lesson to be learned, it's to remember that the gun ports have cannons firing through them, and the distance between the floor and the bottom of the gun port window would be the same no matter where you are on the floor. So this level here determines the height of the gun port level. I think if I had thought of that, or if the book had told me about that up front, the mistake on the window would not have been made. So we're on to video number 9, and we'll see you then.